Alright, so one of the most debated topics and one of the most frequently asked DMs that I've been getting from a lot of you fellow entrepreneurs is that, Mayank, how should I start a business? Mayank, should I even start a business? And what's the process of becoming an entrepreneur? Or should I just stick to my job? Well, if you're someone 18, 19 or even 30 years old, and if you're planning to switch between a job or start your own business, or if you're simply confused whereas to become an entrepreneur or be the employee that you are, then this video, gentlemen, is hopefully going to clarify a lot of stupid myths that people have about being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, or just being an employee of a fantastic job. My name is Mayank Bhattacharya. This is Men's Essentials. Let's roll the intro. Okay, so first thing first, before I get into the video, you'll have to understand where do I come from. Well, I have been a freelancer in my early 20s. I have freelanced a few things here and there as a video editor, as a cinematographer for around a year or about 6 or 5 months in my life. Since then, I have been a YouTuber. I have been creating content for a very long time. I had few other channels before, but now I have been running these 2 channels for about 6 or 7 years. So I've been creating content for a living for well over 7-9 years now, but this is not my actual job right now. This is not my genuine business. I mean, I spend a lot of money in it, but that's where we'll get into a minute. But this is not my real business. For now, I have 3 brands. I have 2 more brands coming in. We have our apparel. This is my shirt. We have our shoes. We have our bracelets, our accessories, and a whole lot of things that we do manufacture, that we do sell, that we do brand. So that's where I'm coming from. That's my background. Now, I am a business owner. I am a supposed entrepreneur, and I have been doing this for a very long time. But this does not, and this totally does not mean the weirdest, stupidest fact that being a business owner or being an entrepreneur is the way of life or is the way to become successful in your life. Gentlemen, this is the biggest American stupidity. This is the biggest capitalism stupidity that has been pushed on everyone's face nowadays. Is it not great to be a business owner? Of course, there are some pros and cons to everything in life, but being a business owner or being an entrepreneur is now a new cool thing. It's like becoming a YouTuber, what it was 5 years back. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur now. Everyone wants to start selling things, even if they don't know shit about business or entrepreneurship. That's my problem, and that's a really scary part to take. See, business or not, job or not, entrepreneurship or your employment, all of it comes down to your personal nature of being. What does your personality naturally say, and how do you naturally behave in? Are you the kind of man who's very uncertain, who's very unstable, who is very much wired to take risks and is absolutely fine making no money at all in his life for a very long period of time? I mean, if you are okay making just bare minimum to survive your month in the pursuit of a bigger dream that you have, the dream won't be a Lamborghini or a private jet, by the way. The dream is going to be about manifesting an idea and putting it in action and putting it in reality. If you have such a product, if you have such an idea that you are willing to literally die for, then you have the genetics, you have the psyche, you have the personality to take the risk and become an entrepreneur. Children, entrepreneurship is like being an athlete or being a sports person. It is not at all certain. There is nothing guaranteed. I don't know if you'll ever make any money being an entrepreneur. You'll just keep chasing the idea that one day I'll make $1 million, I'll make $1 billion. No, that's not going to happen. There are only a few handful of entrepreneurs who make it to that level. There are only a few handful of celebrities or sports person who make it to the tier best level. But yes, of course, if you're smart enough, you'll figure out ways to survive, you'll figure out ways to make a decent living, and on the same hand, keep pursuing your own business interest. But this is not everyone's cup of tea. This is not what everyone even should strive to be. Gentlemen, if you have a set lifestyle, if you have a set few expenses, I'm 29, I'll be 30 in a few months. All my friends are married. Most of my friends are married. Most of my friends are buying houses, cars, and doing crazy things with their children. I am not even going to think of these things because that's not even in my thought, in my far-fetched thought, because I am trying to build something. I'm trying to make something happen out of nowhere, and this is going to take most of my time, and I'm totally fine with it. Hell, I'm totally fine being single all my life. That's how crazy this process is. And gentlemen, this is not a normal psyche. This is not a normal behavior for most of the population around, and I would not even recommend everyone to think, behave and act like so, because this is quite plain stupid. You see, the concept and the logic is quite simple. Had there been no Bill Gates, had there been no Larry Page, there had been no Microsoft or Google. But had there been no Bill Gates or Larry Page, there wouldn't have also been any Sundar Pichai or Satya Nadella. Now, did Sundar Pichai or Satya Nadella started these 2 businesses by themselves? No, they joined in as an employee. They were very good at what they did. They kept at it, they kept learning, they kept providing value to the company, and now they are the CEOs. What difference did it make for someone to start a $1 billion company and someone to join in as a very, very, very heavily paid CEO of that company. So it's not an absolute necessity that you have to be a founder to be a CEO. You can absolutely climb up the corporate ladder and you can become a CEO if you're really good at it. Gentlemen, how many of you all know this fun fact that our foreign minister, Jaishankar, he is an Indian Foreign Services officer. He's a retired IFS officer. He was the ambassador of India to United States and many other countries, and he has done a great deal of service during his tenure. But how many of you all know after his retirement, he was hired by Tata, I guess, as their chief corporate leader, as the president of their corporate sales, corporate global something. He was directly recruited as the president of that section. Gentlemen, that is pretty much the CEO of that branch or that sector or that particular part of the company. He was a foreign minister, but he had the skills. He had learned all of it that it was needed, being an ambassador and being the High Secretary of India. And Tata saw it, Tata knew it. Any company would have seen it and known it, but he chose to join Tata. He served there for I think a year or two. Then he was recruited to Rajya Sabha and then he became the Indian Foreign Minister. How many of you all knew this fact? I read about it. I read about him because I want to make an outfit video about him. I love that man's style. I just love his vibe. So I was reading upon him and I was quite mind blown by the fact that this man is actually quite a genius. So stop believing in this notion that you have to be a founder to be a CEO. Being a founder and being a CEO are two different things. Not every founders are great CEOs and not every CEOs need to be founders. They are two different things. If you want to be the CEO or creative director or chief of operations or anything in that context, you can do it via job as well. There are two types of people that I see around that I have noticed this corporate world in: the entrepreneurs and the intrapreneurs. Intrapreneurs are the ones who build a company from within. Now, two of my dear friends who are also part of my company are my chief marketing and branding person, my best friend, and then we have Ayush. Now, this man, he is young. He is relatively very young. He is 6-7 years younger to me. And if he is guided properly, if he is trained properly, I think he'll be a great operations guy. But that will take time and he can probably do it with time. He does not need to go out and start his own company. He can just be a part of an emerging company and eventually become a very important member of it. So stop believing this notion that entrepreneurship gives you freedom. You can only become a CEO if you are a founder. That's just the extreme side of American BS. Some fake guru would want to sell you some fake course saying that, oh my God, you'll attain freedom if you buy my course. That's stupid. You'll attain freedom when you have money. And entrepreneurship does not give you money. It does not. It's a lot of work. You probably have no money for yourself. You'll probably have to invest all your money in your business or in your employees. I haven't drawn salary in about 3 years, more than 3 years now, since the very time I stopped freelancing and started focusing more on the company in general. Since the very time I started hiring or taking up the studio spaces and building up a production, I haven't paid myself. I don't have any money. I'm broke. But then I am doing something that I like, and I am the kind of personality who cannot do anything else otherwise. That's something you have to ask, and that's something you have to be sure of by yourself. Are you the kind of man who is just wired to be unstable and who's totally okay being financially unstable and crazy? If you are, then you can take greater risks. If you are, then you can probably become an entrepreneur. But it does not mean that you cannot start a business on your side. You can get a job, you can have your weekends, you can start a business in the weekend, and you can just taste that thing out, see if it works, see if it's worth your time. I'm seeing a lot of people who are 18, 19-year-old getting into this hype of entrepreneurship without even knowing the fact that this is like becoming a cricketer in this country. It is nearly impossible for you to become a paid cricketer in the country. But can you not become a cricketer? Of course you can, but you have to put in the work and you have to be genetically wired, and your personality has to be totally okay with the fact that you might not be paid ever in your life, but you rather be doing something that you believed in and the idea that you always wanted to chase. If you are the kind of man, if you are the kind of woman who likes stability, who likes some money, who likes a bank balance, who wants to be wealthy, who wants to invest, who wants to do a lot of these great things in life, then a job is a perfect place for you. Now, of course, there are some toxic companies. I'm not telling you to join or be a part of a toxic company who doesn't understand your work-life balance, who does not help you grow and does not challenge you in your everyday life. You shouldn't be a part of such a toxic company. But there are many, very great companies in the country, in the world you can be a part of, you can learn from, you can probably embrace and serve them with your mighty skills. So don't get into this confusion of entrepreneurship is greater than jobs are smaller than businesses. That's stupid. First of all, entrepreneurship and businesses are two different things, and don't confuse freelancing with becoming a business owner with becoming an entrepreneur. I see most people confusing these three things as the same thing. Freelancing is not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is not being a business owner, and being a business owner is neither freelancing nor an entrepreneurship. So you have to get clear. You have to understand these terms for their exact meaning. Now, if you're confused watching this, if you're still very much in your head watching this and listening to this, you still don't know what you want to do in your life, whether do you want to get a job or a business, well then the best answer for you is looking inward. try to notice a pattern of things that you have been doing in your life. Have you always been a creator kind of a guy? Have you always had the mind for being an engineer or being a creator or being a salesperson or being someone who likes marketing or anything of such nature which is more towards an entrepreneurial side? And how much are you okay with your risk appetite? Do you need cash up front? If you're the kind of person who needs cash up front, then the job is going to give you that stability. If you're someone who's totally okay with not having the money but can just be by himself, live on the minimum mean, but chase this bigger idea that he has because he thinks that idea is well worth his time, irrespective of the idea being failing and he being broke all his life, then entrepreneurship is something you are more likely going to pursue. For example, I'll tell you, ऐसा नहीं कि अगर आपका एक ऐसा आइडिया जो आप चाहते हो चेस करना, but that idea is not at all marketable and sellable. For example, let's talk about my two companies, the TMB Basics, the bracelets and the shirts that I'm wearing, and the possible Boseden shoes and the hair products that we have coming in. Now, Boseden shoes was a very risky gamble for me क्योंकि मुझे पता नहीं था आप सब में से कितने जन को मेरे स्टाइल के शूज़ या मेरे कंपनी के शूज़ पसंद आएंगे. And we sold out crazy number of shoes in कितने 3 महीने में. तो मुझे भरोसा नहीं था, बट आई टुक दैट रिस्क एंड दैट वाज अ वेरी, और मेरा कोई ये डिजिटल कोर्स या प्रोडक्ट नहीं, आई हैड टू बाय द इन्वेंट्री. एज आई कैन सी, आज किसी को मैं आने मना किया क्योंकि व्हेन आई एम शूटिंग नोबडी इज हियर डूइंग द लॉजिस्टिकल का काम, बट आई कैन सी stuff lying around and I can see the inventory that we have and the things that we have planned up, and everything is just a mere calculated gamble. So that's how businesses and entrepreneurship is kind of is. I am just not built for a job. I mean, this is worse than a job. If I can be honest, I don't even have any weekends. I don't even take, most of the weekends I'm in the office making these videos or doing something or the other. So I can't really enjoy the traditional employee benefits that most of my friends do. My company is not paying my health insurance. My company is not paying my provident fund. I don't have any of those facilities that the normal employee from a company would get. But I just like this. I just believe in this process that I am into, and I don't know anything else any better. This is what I am decent at. This is what I just love to do, and this is one thing that I can probably do 7 days a week and not be bored. Now even I'm trying to schedule my days out. I'm trying to plan out a structure because this is just borderline crazy. The amount of money and time and investment a business can eat up is absolute crazy. You lose track of day, you lose track of time. I don't even see my friends. It's just a horrible life. But that's what I have signed up for. This is not what everyone's life is supposed to be. If you are okay with the idea, you can just try it out for 6 months and a year. If that's fine to you, if that's the idea you would want to pursue, then welcome to the club, welcome to being an entrepreneur. If not, you can always join my company, or you can always join some other great companies who are in need for some great employees, who are in need for some great team members who can help their companies grow. I don't really like this word of employment. I mean, yeah, okay, I get the concept of employment, but I don't really like calling people employees or stuff like that. They're more like team members. You need them, they want you to help, and you both work together and you grow an idea. Maybe the idea could have been of an entrepreneur or an engineer or a creator's idea, but you need people to help it grow and scale. For that, you need to hire. For that, you need help. And nobody can work for free, so you employ. I get the idea, but it's more about where do you want to be in the part of the team. Are you the one who comes up with crazy ideas and wants to pursue it without any food, any water? Or are you the one who would want to help someone pursue their idea and can't come up with their own idea on that much? Both of them are fantastic way to live life, as long as you're happy, as long as you're satisfied. Find out what's your happiness, find out what's your why. My name is Mayank, gentlemen. Thanks a lot for watching. If you want me to make more of these videos, if you want me to make more videos on entrepreneurship and business, let me know. I'm liking this set, I'll probably make it happen for you. In case you haven't, you can check out our bracelet at teamybasics.com, our shirts at teamybasics.com, our shoes at teamybasics.com. Hair products coming soon, sea salt spray and hair paste. I was supposed to make a wax, but I think the paste is a much better alternative. Coming very soon. Everything is going to pan out very, very soon. Hopefully, they should pan out very soon. See you in the next one. Jai Hind. Take care.